When the jury walked in, everybody was on pins and needles. I'm not gonna lie. Everybody in the courtroom expected him to be guilty on at least the sex trafficking. There was a somber tone. They walked in, and when they said, "Please read," and they said, "What do you find me?" On count one, not guilty. It was a bomb that went off in the courtroom. The public audibly gasped. Nobody was expecting that. There were tears of joy from Diddy's side. Count two, what say ye? Not guilty. Again, another bombshell went off. People were in utter disbelief. Even Diddy's most ardent supporters did not expect him to get off on the count of sex trafficking with Cassie. Count three, when they said guilty for transportation of a prostitute, when they said guilty for the mayonnaise, that is when Diddy's team actually cheered. Yeah, that's all right. Okay, come on. Almost like we were watching a pro football game.
It sure did seem like it. It sure did seem like it. Nancy Grace, I'll put it in the description. This is one of many reactions and shock. I didn't think I was going to do a P. Diddy video today. But people, this is hot. And I'm going to be honest with you. The powers are in this thing so deep that it's laughable. And it's a distraction because something's brewing. But I digress. What was your reaction? Let me say this to you. There's a mystery in this thing, and it's real deep. It's real deep. I want to give a shout out to my partner in crime, Joe Aquaviva. In his video yesterday, he talked about the sentencing and how on May 5th, the jurors started the process. What Joe found out is deep, that on May 5th, 2025, jury selection was going on, right? Well, P. Diddy's birthday is 11/4/1969, literally. That's exactly 666 months and 1 day. 666. Many of you all know 666 is the mark of the beast. It is the mark of the beast system. So the question was asked by Nancy Grace. What happened? Listen.
To keep Sean Combs behind bars, the defense fighting tooth and nail to let him out on appeal bond, which means you get out while your conviction is being appealed. Joining me right now, Tisa Tells. You can find her on YouTube at Tisa Tells. Tisa, start at the beginning. Start with the verdict, the split. What happened?
I'm a former journalist. You guys know I've shown you the receipts. I started at a tender age of 17 and a half, 18, writing for newspapers, then magazines, then doing radio. Went to college for broadcasting / communications. There is a mindset, there's a skill set, there's a production. You look for the narrative, you tell the story. I'm not going to go with the traditional way of doing things. My mind, I'm not wired that way. That's why I never fit. Oh, I could do that, don't get me wrong. But God gave me that gift of the 5 C's, of clues, codes, colors, the confirmation time and conclusion, which includes the dates. Now, let me show you Joe. Check out his website. And he did an hour and 14-minute video on Sean Diddy Combs and the trial. He also did a 2-minute and 24-second video. Check it out.
One today of him looking much more relieved. I'm so confused about, here's a little bit more. New York Times, with a touch of levity, the judge said he assumed Combs would not want to return to the Brooklyn jail where he has been held. Combs shook his head vigorously and put his hands together in prayer. Oh, it's all just so chummy inside the courtroom for this disgusting pervert female abuser who I can't believe is about to roam our streets again. I'm sorry, I'm disgusted by this verdict. This is fucking ridiculous. I just find it outrageous, the amount of crime that this guy just got away with. I believe he committed arson. He definitely battered Cassie. He battered Jane too. The statute of limitations for battery in Los Angeles, California is 1 year. 1 year. So if they didn't charge him for battery within 1 year, and they couldn't because he bought the tape and it remained hidden thanks to those security guards out there, then they could never charge him with that again. There's no question. He dragged her back into that hotel room. Why wasn't that kidnapping? They only talked about the kidnapping of Capricorn Clark, who was his...
Is this a fair assessment? Irregardless of her being a female, is this a fair assessment? What did he go to court for? Was it in relation to that? Actually, it wasn't, right? If the statute of limitations are done with, I understand her anger. But when you put it in context, the trial wasn't about that, was it? Put in the comment section. Think about what I'm saying. You kind of have to separate the two. I would say this. You know, money talks. Power talks. And again, I'm going to say this again and again and again and again. I think beyond the typical way of reporting news because my mind is wired a certain way. Now watch this. I brought to you this video yesterday, and I thank you guys for watching it. This will leave you speechless, P. Diddy and the trial date. One of the attorneys who knew P. Diddy for about 20 years, he said, there's a man in the background. Last night, I'm gonna blame it on the Holy Spirit, I couldn't sleep. And I got up in the wee hours in the morning because God said, go back into what you showed the people yesterday. And what was that? What happened? There's a man on the stretcher. This happened somewhere between the announcement that he wasn't getting out of prison and the attorneys coming out with a press conference. A black man was taken out on a stretcher and he had purple around his arm. But there's a man in the foreground, in the background. That's what disturbed me. Do you see him right there? I want you to look at him. We're focused on this, which is natural, and I pointed that out. But I kept thinking about this man. I kept thinking about this. I'm gonna bring it to you. I kept thinking about this man here. What happened? So let me ask you this. Does he resemble somebody? I asked you a question. Does he look like somebody? Now, when I show you the tape, I want you to ask yourself, does he stand out? Because it's only a few people that have suits on the outside. Does he resemble someone? Look at his face. Look at his beard. We got somebody on the stretcher. I said it's a black man. And I'm like, is it speaking to the future? It's a black man. But like I presented the video yesterday, I said, look, this thing's got multiple things. I said, it's a mix of Trump, Obama, Cassie. And I said, J.D. Vance. Here's my notes. I said, it's a mix of Trump, Obama, Cassie, J.D. Vance, and the 50-50 split. Remember yesterday, 2 days ago? J.D. Vance was the tie vote breaker in the big, beautiful bill. Who does he look like? It's deep, y'all. Listen. If you guys were waiting on the end of the hearings today, if you were waiting to see what the press conference was about during that period.
Wait, if you were a patient at any...
that they went in, then came out. They went in, that is the paramedics went in and came out. And he got that big purple on, don't he? It's right there, whoever this individual is. And it does look like a black man. Are you following me? This is the P. Diddy trial. While we were waiting on all the information to come out after the, counts and everything, they already reached the verdict. Well, in terms of they had they got him on 2 out of 5, you know what they were. And he beat Rico, but we were just waiting with bated breath. In between, this is what happened. And I thought that was kind of interesting. But when I saw the purple, and then I saw, look at the hands. That's a brother. People, look, is it symbolic? Look, I'm gonna put it out there. You saw my videos yesterday. The lady used a certain word. Look, I'm just letting you know. So look at it real good. The purple, the rock colors of orange and gold. I'm just putting it out there. And of course, the way it's set, of course, that's an X. Of course, that's the way it's designed. No problem. Now watch this. You're going to see the paramedics go inside. They're coming up in 5 seconds, right here. They go in. All right. I will put this video in the description. Now watch this. 14 minutes later, they come out. But I want you to see this here. Brother JLR investigates. He had seen it too, and he's like, uh-oh, medical emergency. Watch.
Thought he was getting out. Oh, medical emergency, what's going on?
So he caught it as well, right? He caught it as well, like, okay. Now watch this. 14 minutes later, they come out. Look at this guy. Does he resemble someone? It's gonna be about a minute. I just want you to look at him. Look at his facial structure. Look at his beard. Look at his mustache. Look at his suit. Look at the height of him. Does he resemble somebody? "14 minutes later, they come out. There he is. And there he is. Almost identical, huh? Almost the same height, isn't it? I couldn't sleep. I got up, and I'm glad I did. Look at that profile here. And of course, you have him there, there. Watch.
Y'all.
Hello, somebody. I said, hello, somebody. Is this all coincidence?
Y'all for putting on home soup?
Is it coincidence? At this P. Diddy situation, this man was there. And like I said, only a few people had on suits. See them all gathered around? But nobody had on a blue suit like that. Only he did. Now, October 3rd is the sentencing of P. Diddy Combs. J.D. Vance had a book come out called Hillbilly Elegy, came out June 28th. June 28, 2025, anniversary, 10/3/2025, sentencing date, the difference is 97. The 97th day of the year is April 7, 47. Was it a message? Is he replacing 47 soon? What are they telling us? Because many times the powers, what they do, people, they run 2 episodes in one. So yeah, black man, you're thinking about Diddy. At least I did initially. Then I'm like, wait a minute, Pearson. You're thinking about Diddy. You're thinking about Diddy, but this man looks like somebody. So could this be somebody else? Could this be a commander-in-chief? That's all I'm asking. Now let's go to something. Did you know P. Diddy was in the hospital back in the day? Watch this.
Or was he trying to pull something shady again? Let's break it all down.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I've been holding a lot of shit in lately. Oh, man, I just had like a 3.5 hour cry.
I had a 3.5 hour cry.
So, according to reports, Diddy was taken from the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn to Brooklyn Hospital at around 10 p.m. last Thursday night.
So, a 3.5 hour cry and a teddy bear. 3.5 hours. 60, 60, 60, and 30 equals 210. I took it as a date. 2/10/2025. 6/28 is J.D. Vance's book anniversary, Hillbilly Elegy, 2024. The difference is 7/13. What happened on 7/13? Didn't they say Trump got hit in the ear in Butler, Pennsylvania? That's deep. Trump had to go to the hospital on July 13th. P. Diddy's in the hospital. Do you understand where I'm going? Now watch this. 210 again, 3.5 hour cry, February 10th. That's 310. That's 210 versus the day that P. Diddy was in the hospital, January 30th, he was in the hospital. The difference is 11. Why is 11 important? Didn't they read from Psalms 11 yesterday when P. Diddy was on his knees? Remember? You can Google it. They read Psalms 11 yesterday. 11 is all over the place, either 111 or 11. The Pope died on April 21st, the 111th day of the year. They keep talking 11. The sole survivor in the airplane crash in India 2 weeks ago, he was in seat 811. Do you follow me? Are they speaking through numbers? Then look, we have, what's the 210th day of the year? The 210th day of the year is July 29th. Remember, he said what? I had a 3.5 hour cry. That's 210. Okay, so let's look at it. What is 210? 210 is July 29th. The 210th day of the year is July 29th. Take July 29th, 2025, from the day that P. Diddy was in the hospital, January 30th, the difference is 5/29. What's 5/29? JFK was born on 5/29. Wasn't he also taken out? Yeah. JFK went to the hospital, didn't he? Put it together. Now look at this here. He had a teddy bear, didn't he? P. Diddy had a teddy bear. It come out to 84. Who was born August 4th? Barack Obama. Let's end this thing. 1:30, P. Diddy was in the hospital. 7/16, I want you to look for this date in the future. Something could happen on July 16th, okay? July 16th versus 1:30 the day that P. Diddy was in the hospital, the difference is 24. 24th letter of the alphabet is X. Again, I'm thinking something's going to happen on July 16th. I don't know who, but July 16th, look for it. 11/4/2025, Trump became president. The votes, the difference is 111. Remember, on 4/21, that's when Pope Francis died, April 11th, the 111th day of the year. So again, July 16th versus 11/4 when Trump was elected, 111. Then look, 7/16/2025, 6/14, Trump's last birthday, the difference is 45. Trump's the 45th president. Cassie, born August 26. August 26, 2025, from July 16th, I'm thinking something might happen. The difference is 111 again. All right, people, you enjoy it, please subscribe. Tell people about the channel. Thumbs up. God bless you. They're speaking. This thing is all set up by the math, as you can see. And again, shout out to Joseph Aquaviva. People, Jesus is coming soon. This is a big distraction. This thing is a sacrifice. But people, I want to know, is this also a dual message? Was this a dual message? In that this guy was standing outside and he looks so much like him. Let me know what you think. Because again, they do speak. Two things could be happening at one time is what I'm saying. God bless.